Hello everyone, and welcome back to Extra Half. And this is this is a video where we talk about the potential transfers. I think there is still more than a week left in the transfer window before it shuts, and I still think United are still left to do business, and especially uh, when you look at the two priorities that we're still missing. So one is of course the midfielder, and the second is the goalkeeper. We have of course got to see sell players as well, the bomb squad. But yeah, that's separate. This video is largely about the potential transfer updates that we have now. Been hearing a lot of names for all the positions that we're looking for, the goalkeeper and the defensive midfielder. Uh, we do have a potential signing lined up in Lemons. Uh, I think he's from Belgian league. He plays for Royal Antwerp, and I think the most interesting thing for me is the signing fee signing amount. It's 17 million. Uh, I think any goalkeeper at this point we bring in, right? Will be very, you compare it with Onana, you compare it with Bandir, it'll be a breath of fresh air for the United fans because we've been getting so used to both of them frequently coming up with this goalkeeping errors. And I think we started this uh, season, even in the preseason, we talked about we need a goalkeeper. And the first game itself, we lose 3 points because of a goalkeeping error. So I just think it's very clear. Uh, I think I don't think we've completed the signing yet, but yeah, I think there's definitely one that would could be completed in a day or two, given how far it is. I think the personal terms have been agreed. Uh, it's the signing and the structure of the deal that's left, and I've not followed this, and I know a lot of other fans as well will not have followed because no one really would watch the Belgian league unless they play in the Champions League. But I was seeing a video analysis of Lemons as a goalkeeper, and then I saw a tweet regarding a comparison between the two players' performance, and I just think I just think if you look at this, right, I know it's a very bad comparison because you're looking at Onana, who we think is probably the worst goalkeeper amongst the worst goalkeeper in the league. But if you look at this, right, this graph, the chart itself kind of explains Lemons is completely covered Onana in all aspects of the game, be it aerials one, be it save percentage, be it long percentage, be it short percentage, passes, interceptions. PS XG against saved. And for me, the most contrasting and the most important number to look at is the save percentage. It's 39% for Onana, just 39%. And I know, and we've looked at Onana and we've been like, oh, we were always worried in every game that he's gonna come up with a blunder. You compare that with Lemons, he's at 90%. Now I understand he plays in the Belgian league, the pressure is different. Maybe like uh, uh, he doesn't face a lot of chances there in comparison to Nana. The midfield not being in a structure enough, the team not having a good control of the ball in the games also creates a lot of problem for the goalkeeper that they're used to facing a lot more shots and they're exposed a bit more. But I definitely think based on this chart 39% save percentage for Nana is not Manchester United quality. And this is not just a stat which does not reflect the performance in the field. I think for 2 years, I think he's had good 3 4 months, and that was at the start of the previous season. But apart from that, it's been a blunder signing from whoever got him signed. I think it was before Ineos that there was, yeah, it was definitely before Ineos. And I just feel possibly could be one of our worst signings in the recent times, and we have a huge list. We've got Anthony, we've got Sancho, uh, we've got Sanchez as well, Alexis Sanchez from Arsenal, and so many of them. But this could still potentially be probably one of our worst signings in the recent times. So this is clear enough to tell us that what we're signing and what we're linked with is an interesting, exciting player for us, and we could so easily be in a position where we ship Onana after this. I do think there's no point keeping three goalkeepers, and then there's Tom Heaton as well. I think he's the perfect third choice goalkeeper. He's okay to do that role. Uh, I think Bander could still be a goalkeeper in the club competitions. I think he's good at penalties, better at penalties than Onana is. So I just feel if the signing comes across and it gets done in the next week or so, United will be willing to sell Onana. I don't think without Europe, I don't think it makes sense to have four goalkeepers in the squad. And I just think even if they get 20-25 million for Onana, or are able to ship him for loan. I think Onana is gonna go. So this is a really good news for all United fans. I know we do not wish bad for any player, but I definitely feel this is one of those players where I think it's time's up. If the time is up with Rasmus Højlund, time definitely should up with be with Onana. And that's on the goalkeeping side. I think the signing is gonna go come across very soon. It's a really good fee, and 17-20 million for a goal for a position that is priority for us, and a goalkeeper who looks good. I'm not really sure how he'll perform in the league, but he looks good with his stats. Of course, two different leagues, but definitely cannot be as bad as Onana, cannot be as bad as how Bendy has been when he started. So excited to see him. I think this goal. I think we could talk about this more if we heard uh, more talks about this. I think he talks about Donnarumma, but I just think the reason he left PSG was because he demanded a new deal, and he was already on 250K a week. I don't think United were enough, had any reason to give him that. Uh, and under renewals, I don't think they're giving away that salary to any player. So didn't make sense. I didn't get into a lot of it. I knew that deal would not progress. So yeah, I think Lemons is the one to see, one to look at, and I think this deal comes across in a week's time. So that's on the goalkeeping front. But the more important signing, which I feel has to go across, is the midfielder. I've said this at the start of in the first video of the channel. We need a defensive midfielder, and there were talks about Baliba. There have been talks about a lot of other players. Uh, Adam Wharton from Crystal Palace. There have been talks about Agueme from Sevilla, very recent talks. Then there's been talk about Angelo Stiller from Stuttgart. And uh, surprisingly, I was hearing Rabio as well from uh, Marseille. But that will be one of the worst deals to do for United fans. I honestly think it makes sense. I'm not sure if the players and the fans are clear about what the profile they want. I definitely feel with Bruno playing that deeper role, with Cunha able to carry the ball, and with Mbuma able to carry the ball and run with it, and being creative enough. We have enough players in the attacking zones. Then we've got Ahmad. Then we've got Dogu as well, who are creative themselves. We need a midfielder who's purely defensive mindset, who has a discipline in his game, who will sit, who will not float around the pitch like Bruno does, who will not run around like a headless chicken like Ugarte does, and has the physicality, right? I think the board and Amorim are clear what they need, but I just think the fans confuse what we need in the midfielder. Uh, Again, a similar data chart I saw between us, some of the targets that we have, and I just feel it's important to look at this and be clear what are we looking to sign. So this is a chart, again, a similar kind of chart of midfield attributes among the signings that we have. And if you look at it, you look at Baliba, Gueme, Wharton, and Stiller. These are the four prominent names I've heard in the week or so. It's surprising to me that the two key areas I would want the defender to be a midfielder to be good at is dual one percentage, and that comes with physicality and understanding the position and discipline of the position, and possession one. So you need that, and then you need the progressive passes as well. I don't really think key passes is the important part. You've got Bruno for that, you've got Cunha, you've got other players for that. Forward pass percentage should be high. But I definitely don't think we need someone to carry. I definitely don't think we need someone to make those key passes, those assists in that position. We need someone with a defensive mindset. And if you look at this chart, I think if you look at duels one percentage and possession one, there's one clear standout from that. That's Adam Wharton, which to my surprise and my shock, I thought if Carlos Baliba will be up at the top because given he's more physical, and I thought this is the kind of player profile we are looking for, and Carlos Baliba was my first choice. But if I look at the stats, 21-year-old, just won a trophy, right? England international. I know he'll be overpriced. I think I've been hearing 70 million from, uh, I think a lot of tweets. I don't think they're willing to sell, to be very honest. They will not sell given that they're sold as a they're in Europe, they need more players. And there are talks about Gay going. So they cannot really sell three or four of the best players just after winning a trophy. So I don't think he'll go. But if I look at my key characteristics for what I feel should be a defensive midfielder of what I'm seeing, I think it has to be the dual one percentage and possession one. And it's Adam Orton is at the top of both both those. Uh, I know Baliba looks good at carrying. I don't really think we need Bruno's there for that. Cunha is for that. We saw it in the first game, right? Progressive passes will be important for us, and even in that, Adam Waters is second. It's behind Angelo Stiller. I've been hearing a lot of Angelo Stiller, hype and excitement. I just feel Angelo Stiller, good at forward pass percentage, good at forward passes, good at progressive passes. I've been hearing that he's a cruise kind of, uh, you know, midfielder. We don't want that. We need a midfielder who's who's more like a breaker of the game, who's more like, a Sandro Tonali. Sandro Tonali is my perfect fit for this role, but I don't think we can sign him. Yeah. Uh, and hence I'll probably go for dual one percentage and position one. Also, I'll choose Adam Wharton over Angelo Stella because he's a Premier League player. I have said this. For Mbumo, for Cunha, the signings will work for us more than Sesko because they're Premier League proven. It is an actual thing to adapt to the league, and I just feel Strela will find it difficult. Ugarte found it difficult, even though he came with big hype from PSG, but he could not adapt to it. Even though he's one of those defensive minded midfielders who can run, who have the stamina, but I just feel he could not adapt to the league and the pressure and the press. Hence, it becomes important to sign from within the league. And Adam Wharton, based on this chart, and that he's Premier League pro and he's 21, looks a really good buy. If United can get Adam Wharton, which I don't think is possible, it should be United should be behind Adam Wharton before anyone else. So this is my understanding of the transfers for both the goalkeeper and midfielder position. I think the goalkeeper comes very soon, and then we go ahead and uh, I think we get the midfielder done before the end of the window. I think we'll also try to sell some players, and on top of that list is the bomb squad: Garnacho, Anthony, Sancho, Malasia. I'm not sure how Malasia ended up in that squad, and Holland as well. I'm not sure even how Holland ended up entering that. And Onana. I think Onana gets into that the moment we sign a goalkeeper. And that I've been hearing Garnacho to Chelsea for so long, and I'll be very honest. I've seen Madueke go for more than 15 million. I've seen Tyler Dibling sign for 35 million. I've seen a lot of. I think I saw Liverpool prodigy go to Bournemouth for 25-30 million. I think it was Doak, someone to Bournemouth. And if these players are going for 25-30 million, for Chelsea to demand Garnacho just for 30 million, they're willing to pay just 30 million. Makes absolute no sense. And United board will be really stupid. And I think Ineos have been very shrewd with the signings. I don't think they'll let him go for anything less than 50 million. Should not should not be a deal in place. It's okay to keep him in the reserves, get him back into the team. I think he's a really good player. I think the ego will come down once he realizes that uh, he's not getting minutes and it's the World Cup season. He's already out of the Argentina squad for the qualifiers, not for the qualifier, for the friendlies next week. And I just feel bad for Garnacho on this position because he's a good player. He's young, but his attitude is a problem. And now I don't think the United board or Chelsea are doing him good by keeping him non-playing. So that's on Garnacho. I think Anthony, I saw a really interesting, I heard a really interesting tweet that uh, I think it was some, it was a Turkish league, some a team, I think Fenerbahce. Yeah, Fenerbahce are going for 45 million deal for Anthony. And I'll be very surprised. Anyone who's willing to pay 45 million for Anthony needs to really look into the recruiting department and whoever's in charge of it and sack him. 45 million for Anthony is not possible. Maybe they need to watch more of Anthony. They're still watching Ajax videos from Anthony. So that's that. I hope it comes through quickly. 45 million is good business for us. Uh, then there's Sancho, and honestly, he's probably the worst of the bomb squad. Not willing to leave, not willing to accept lower wages. Roma has offered 20 million for him. I heard. He's not willing to go there. He's not willing to go to Turkey. It just doesn't make sense to be there. Yeah. And then at the last, I think very recently, Rasmus, which I do not like. I think this is one of my least likable players to leave, least likable deals in terms of players who are leaving. And I think Rasmus Holland needed more time. I think we need another striker behind Šeško, who's young, who has to prove himself as well. But I just think that he is probably going to progress and he'll be out of United. I'm hearing Napoli with a loan option and an option to buy at 35 million. And it's largely because Lukaku got injured. So I just think that deal has to progress because Napoli will have to sign a striker. And yeah, so these are the transfer news updates that I've been hearing. We will potentially do one more before then in next week because I think we'll go ahead with some signing or selling some players. We're not done in the last week or so, which is very strange given how active we have been in the window before this. But yeah, let us see. Let us see how we play in this game. I think that will potentially trigger people leaving and people coming into the team and the club. So that's it for this video. We'll cover more in a game, in a post United game with Fulham. And yeah, that's it.